Hey friends. Welcome back to my channel. I know, it's been a minute. I mean, I think the last time I posted was 7 or 8 months ago. The 10 of you who used to watch my channel are probably like, Tara, where you been? Are you still flying? Did you reach your weight loss goals? I'm gonna explain all of that right now. And the few of you who are new to this channel, sorry if this bores you, but I feel like I owe my dedicated viewers an explanation. So one of the last videos that I made, I discussed that I would be taking some time off from my flight attendant job because of COVID. I was planning to take off 6 months, and I thought it was gonna be great because I thought that I would be applying for unemployment basically, but it turns out I wasn't eligible for unemployment because the previous year I was off for maternity leave, so I made no income, which made me ineligible for ineligible for unemployment. God, I'm so bad at talking to the camera. I ended up having to work. I did take 6 months off from flying, but I did not take time off from working. And I really didn't have time to like do all the things that I wanted to do, like exercise. And like, okay, if you work an 8 to 5 and you have a job and you have kids and you have like hobbies, like going to the gym, leave all of your like time batching tips in the comment section because I need help, okay? I need help. I have not reached my weight loss goals. I've found that I have a lot of other health issues that I didn't, like I knew I had them, but I've been on a path of discovery, which is what I'm gonna explain in the rest of this video. So if you are new here, this is what you came for, okay? All right. So let me start off from the beginning. Was I a big person to begin with? No. All right. So like, looking back at me as a child, I really wasn't like heavy, but I really wasn't skinny either. I remember like looking at other girls who had legs like this big around, and I was like, heck, I don't look like that. I was always like a little bit more muscular. Yeah, so I wasn't really like either. Here's a little secret that not many people know, but I guess now everyone will know because it'll be on the internet. When I was like 19, I got married, and I was married for like 1 year. I put on a lot of weight while I was married. I think I'm 5'1", so I'm short. I think I weighed like 140 around that time. Was working at a pharmacy, which I ended up working at for like 6 years total. And at the pharmacy, my boss was like, the pharmacist was like, hey, you should read Dr. Atkins' book, The New Diet Revolution. And I was like, okay. So I started to read it, and I did everything that the book says to do, and I lost like 30 pounds. So I went from being like 145 to like 115, and 115, I gotta admit, was like a little hard for me to maintain, but I looked great. And a lot of people who are like low carbohydrate haters will tell you like, oh, you're gonna gain it all back the moment you start eating carbs again. I'm here to tell you that didn't happen to me. I did put on a little bit of weight back, probably about like 10 pounds. I think I like mellowed out around like 125. That was okay for me. Like I didn't mind being 125. I didn't mind being 115 either, but I had more of a social life once I was like around 125. I was going out to eat with friends, I was drinking, you know, I was happier. So, and I think that that is probably the case for a lot of people who get really fit and like lose their periods or like have no real life outside of like working out and stuff. That was me at 115, but like at 125 I had a life. I pretty much stayed around 125 until 2018 when I got pregnant. I went from being like 125 to like 170, like 45 pounds, which is fine. Okay, but let me just say this. When I was younger, when I was like 19 years old, I had a colonoscopy done because I had really bad stomach issues where I was like constantly like bouncing back and forth between diarrhea and constipation. Yes, I'm going there on this channel. Like if you have problems with talking about poop, we can't be friends. I was bouncing back and forth between those two, and I really was uncomfortable with my stomach and stuff like that. So I went to a gastroenterologist and they were like, oh, let's check out your booty. And they didn't find anything. So I just like kind of suffered with stomach issues my whole life. And then when I was pregnant, all these other symptoms started to kind of come on to me. Like I started being like very hormonal, which you're pregnant, like duh, of course you do. But I also developed like joint pain in my feet and my hands. I had baby brain and I was very concerned for my memory. Like I could not remember to do anything, like really important things and not really important things, like starting the laundry. Like I would put the laundry in the washing machine, put the soap in the washer, and then just walk away. And I'd go back like 3 hours later being like, I wonder if it's time to put it in the dryer. And it hadn't been washed. So, I mean, just like really silly stuff, but I could not remember to do anything. And then I, of course, had stomach issues, and then came the anxiety. I was literally a crazy person. I was crying because I thought my child was too skinny, and I also like was terrified to walk with him on concrete because I was so scared that I was gonna like trip and fall and kill him. Like, ugh, people don't talk about this stuff enough. And then after you have your baby and you begin to breastfeed, if that's what you so choose to do, a lot of women don't know this, but I didn't. You don't get your period back if you're breastfeeding. I didn't know. So I had my baby in June of 2019, and then I quit breastfeeding in January 2020. When my period came back in January, I had 2 periods, 14 days apart. And I was like, that's weird. Your hormones are obviously off. So then I waited for February, where I also had 2 periods, and then March I also had 2 periods, and that continued all 2020 until January 2021 when I finally quit my birth control. Coincidence? Probably not. I did talk to my OBGYN about it, and he said that I wasn't taking my birth control pills correctly. I'm here to say that I was. He's no longer my OBGYN. I mean, that's what I can tell you about it. So I started to go to the doctor early in 2020. I was like concerned for my health, you know, most alarmingly the joint pain. I was like, hey, I'm in pain and I don't want to be put on a pain medicine. I just want to not have pain in my hands and feet anymore. I couldn't run because it hurt so bad, and like I used to do yoga and I was really into it, and like I got to where I couldn't put any pressure on my wrists because like the joints in my wrist would hurt, and I just couldn't do the things that I liked to do anymore. So that sucks. And I went to the foot doctor. Foot doctor says I have plantar fasciitis. OBGYN says I have pregnancy carpal tunnel. All I know is that it's been 6 months from the time I gave birth and I'm still in pain. And also like my weight didn't go away. Like so many women tell me that after they gave birth, they lost like 20 pounds. Like boom, boom, boom. Like you just leave the hospital and boom, 20 pounds is gone. That did not happen to me. If you are one of those women, like, I'm so jealous. I did all these exercises that these doctors told me to do to like strengthen my hands and strengthen my feet. Didn't work, and running or doing any kind of exercise was excruciatingly painful. So the weight wouldn't go away, and there's just like a lot of stuff going on. I went to my regular doctor pretty recently, and he was like, well, we're gonna test you for thyroid, we're gonna test you Hashimoto's, we're gonna test you for rheumatoid arthritis, we're gonna test you for Crohn's, we're gonna test you for, I can't remember, something else. All of it was negative. So here I am, like at my wit's end because I'm in pain and I can't lose weight and I'm having memory problems and my stomach still hurts as it always has. And randomly I was just like, I wonder what the difference is. Because when I was doing a low carbohydrate diet when I was like 19 and 20 and 21 and around those ages, I truly felt pretty good. I still had stomach issues, don't get me wrong, but like I had a lot of energy. I was very like go, go, go. Back then when I was doing low carb, let me tell you, that was gone. Like I didn't feel any of that. So I was like, I wonder if there's something to that. I think I'm gonna try a low carbohydrate diet again. And one day I was at the airport and I walked up to this little shop, and the only thing that they had that was low carb was this like teriyaki chicken, which of course is made with soy sauce, and soy sauce has gluten, if you see where I'm going with this. So I'm like, well, this is gonna be the only thing I eat right now. I'm not gonna eat anything else, just the chicken, nothing else. I'm just gonna test it and see if I feel better with a low carbohydrate meal. Nothing but chicken. And it was also the only thing I had eaten all day. When I tell you I had diarrhea on that plane, when I tell you I had very severe gas on the plane, I was like, holy crap, I think I have like celiac disease or like gluten intolerance or something. I went the rest of the trip eating a high carbohydrate diet. I was like, I'm gonna eat sandwiches, which I never eat. I don't like sandwiches. And I had like a muffin for breakfast and stuff that I would never normally do. My stomach was so bad that whole trip. When I went home after that trip, I was like, I'm gonna stop eating gluten and see what happened. After 2 days, my stomach pain was completely gone. After 5 days, my joint pain was completely gone, which I had had since I was pregnant. So I've been living like over 2 years with joint pain. My son is 2 years old now. Every time since then that I've had any gluten, my joint pain comes back. So I'm here to tell you that, like, regardless of what any doctor says, I don't know if I have celiac disease or if I'm just gluten intolerant, I am gonna go get tested, but like, I think the problem is gluten, you guys. Change angles because over here, the light was shining right on the camera and it made it hot and it overheated and it died. Really quickly, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna go to a doctor and get tested for celiac disease. I already have the appointment made and it's happening. Also, I am like, I don't know if it's celiac disease or if it's just like a severe gluten sensitivity, but I am going to like continue to eliminate gluten from my diet. And I hope that like now that I'm not going to be in so much pain, that I can start really getting back into shape and like losing weight and doing yoga again and running again and lifting weights again, because I really love all of that stuff. I just think it's kind of ironic, like that, like I used to do a low carbohydrate diet and felt pretty good, and it turns out I'm actually like not okay with gluten. It was like my body knew it back then, but I just didn't have like the knowledge behind it. And then I figured it out, and it's like, oh, well, duh, this was successful for you because you have this issue. So now that I have all of that figured out, I'm hoping that with my joint pain gone and having a lot more energy and not feeling so depressed, I'm really hoping that this weight is gonna start to just come back off, because I'm gonna be doing yoga again because my wrists won't hurt, and I'm gonna be running again because my feet won't hurt, and I'm gonna be lifting weights again because I'm gonna have energy. I'm just gonna be feeling so much better, and this weight is going to come off. And I really hope that that is a little bit of an inspiration to any of you that are having some health problems. You know when you don't feel right. You know your body better than a doctor does, and like if you are not getting an answer, there's an answer out there. Like, please go get a second opinion. Research. I obviously know that like not everyone can just go read a medical journal, but you can find doctors who have big platforms who will interpret these things and, you know, give you good information. So some of my favorites are like Dr. Gundry, Dr. Eric Berg. They're both on social media. Dr. Eric Berg is on YouTube. Dr. Gundry has a book, a podcast. There's so many good resources out there for you to get information. Please educate yourself, and then go to a doctor and say, look, I have questions about this, and then never give up. Hope that's a little bit of an inspiration. I'm really hoping that now that I'm feeling better, that I will be doing this more, and I'm really, really sorry that I haven't made any YouTube videos about it. I didn't have the answers as to why things weren't working, and I really felt like I had nothing to show you. So now that there's a little bit of like momentum and I know a little bit about like what's going on with my body, I feel like I can include videoing because it's gonna get better. So, oh, and by the way, since I cut out gluten, I've magically lost 7 pounds. It's made such a difference in my life. That is it for me. I am on a layover currently. If you can't tell, I'm in Richmond, Virginia tonight, and I have to get up at like 4:30 in the morning. So I gotta get going and get to bed, but I will see you guys in the next one, and I hope you all have a good night and a good day, and that's it. Bye-bye.